Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for constantly listening to my conversations about life, home, faith, business, and becoming. That's what this channel is all about. And you know what? I was thinking about, I had a conversation with my husband the other day about why am I in this real estate business? I never sat around saying I wanted to be a realtor. Yes, I love architecture, I love house and home. And since the age of 12, I've always been fascinated with architecture. I thought I actually was going into architecture, and I still may, even though I am 58 days from the age of 60. I am yet becoming, and I'm not looking to retire anytime soon, but I always do introspect. I'm always introspecting, trying to figure me out. Okay. And that was one of the questions in the conversations. Why am I in real estate? Why am I a realtor? You know, some people say, oh, I'm here to serve my community. I'm here to ensure everybody becomes a homeowner. And that's not the reason I got into this. But in deep thought, prayer, and introspecting, we need to do that sometimes. So this is what you do also. Introspect. Look to self, pray, get into yourself and know yourself. But I truly believe God allowed me to deviate, and I use that term because we have free will. You know, a lot of people say, oh, God didn't want me to do this, that, or whatever. But he allowed you to deviate. He allows the deviation. I deviated from my plans per se, but where I have landed is in a position to where humility is of the utmost importance in order to grow the business. And y'all, my natural proclivity when I assess myself and my inner being is not humility. So I think that's why God allowed me to deviate. I need to be humbled. I need some humility in my life. Listen, got to be true to yourself. To thine own self be true. Now, humility. I remember when I first began, I wasn't making any money. I was losing clients. Boom, boom, boom. I mentioned this in a video. That's due to humility. Dealing more in the flesh than in the spirit. Okay? Because to be humble is to remain more so in the spirit than the flesh, because I'm quick. That's what somebody said to me one time. I'm so quick, it's scary. So what I have learned to do is not speak everything that comes to mind, because that's my bent. So just thinking a little more, sitting a little more, being quiet a little longer, and then speaking or not speaking. So I'm here to learn that, to soften. And I feel I have softened. My family has mentioned that. I'm peeling back these layers on this onion that, to get down to the soft, if you will, the humble Tanya Smith. So that's why I'm here, I feel. Because when I slipped up last week, I mentioned that in the last video, my granddaughter was with me. And she was listening. And that little girl is something else, because she said she kept listening because she wanted to know what was next. I was irritated because my Wi-Fi was out, and I called them 3 times. And then I was just ready to just blow up. I did blow up. However, in all of that, this little girl said I needed therapy. She said I needed some therapy, y'all. So this real estate is some of my therapy. And talking to you and just hashing things out and speaking here, this is not only for life, business, home, but it's mostly becoming. And this is my journal. So thank you for tuning in to my journal. I'm going to put a lot in this. It's my journal to myself. It's also my journal to my grandchildren, to show them and those grandchildren to come, that their grandmother was out here doing these things and as a constant motivator to them throughout their lives to keep moving. But in that moving, to keep growing and shedding and softening and getting out of the flesh. So they don't need therapy. Like she said, I need therapy. But I thank God for the journey that I'm on, because had it not been for this, a lot of other things would have transpired. So this keeps me grounded. This real estate, this YouTube channel, my family, the little people watching me, my grandchildren, all this keeps me grounded. And leading up to my 60th birthday, I need this grounding. I need this humility in my spirit. And I also need for you to share these videos with someone, because this is my birthday wish from you, is to share my videos so I can get to 1,000 by my 60th birthday. Is that humility speaking? No, not necessarily. But if you don't ask for business and ask for things, you also don't get it. But it's all in the way that the question is posed. So through all of this, and in this one conversation that we're having, is the fact that I'm learning to be humble in my boldness, because my persona in and of itself is bold. I know when I walk into a room, I shift it. I can shift the climate, which each of us does, but I know myself. And in shifting, though, the environment, I want it to be not only, of course, am I assertive, but I am one who you can count on. That's the thing. But in your counting on me, please, please, my prayers for myself is that I then respond in kind, in humility. So, like, subscribe, share, help me get to 1,000. Drop your comments. Let's see where you are in your journey, in your becoming, and we'll talk.